everybody. Welcome to the JDS Philosophy live feed. Uh, I'm to start seeing some people joining us soon. I apologize for the little bit of a late start. I had a couple technical complications as I got rolling, but we'll give it a minute as people start to come in. And if you've got any questions you'd like to ask, please go ahead, drop them in the comments. Uh, to start, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Jonas Spencer. I'm from Arizona, and I'm in my 40s at this point, and going through the process of growing up, aging, learning how to live life. It's been an adventure. And it's been just a process where I've gotten to learn a lot of different things about myself and about life in general. These are things that have made my life infinitely easier. And as I have been learning and growing myself, I've felt very, very strongly that I needed to take the things that I've been learning and teach them to other people. And it's a lot of knowledge. It was paid for with a dear price, and it's the culmination of my path thus far. The first few years or the first maybe half of my life thus far. And the things I've learned have brought me forward. They've helped me to learn, to grow, to become a stronger, better person. It's helped me to know that I'm going to get there. It's allowed me to do the things that I've always wanted to do. And I'm starting to see where I've struggled for years, a path beginning to clear for me. It's a process like everything else in life. If you'd asked me a year ago, even, if I thought that I would be sitting here today recording a live video, having published a book, established my own publishing imprint, and setting up the plans to start a podcast while also doing mini video lectures as I go, I probably would have laughed at you. I didn't see this necessarily in my future, but I'm glad that this is my future, that this is where everything took me. And now here I am, stronger, smarter, feeling a lot better about everything that I've gone through, everything that I've had to struggle through. And let me tell you, it's not been easy so far. Life has been just one challenge after another. There's days that I'm almost convinced somewhere along the lines I signed a contract that said, you will never, ever once get to take the easy road. And yet, what I'm seeing coming out of everything that I've been through, it doesn't matter if I end up with the easy road, the hard road, whatever road. I just have to start it. And the it's one of those things. Goals are kind of funny. We all got them. We've got our dreams, and we always say, "Well, I need this, this, and this to work out first before I'm going to start chasing that dream." And I used to do this a lot. And I think that's one of the reasons it took me until now to realize where I was headed, what I'm doing, and where I'm going from here. I was too focused on what I needed to have the time be right to make my dreams happen. And over the last few months, I've actually learned an incredible lesson. The time's never going to be right. There's always an excuse, there's always some reason we can give ourselves for why we are not going to start chasing our dreams and our goals today. Why we're pushing off doing it now. And the most common thing we tell ourselves is, well, the time, it just isn't right. Things aren't right with it yet. I don't feel it. I don't see it. But the reality is the time is never going to be right. It's up to each and every one of us to make it right. It's been an incredible and empowering feeling to sit and take control of where I'm going in my life. It increases my own confidence in what I'm doing every day. I see the benefit to it. I see the growth in myself. I see where the lessons that I have had to work so hard to learn are of great value to everybody who takes the time to listen and hear the message. And that message is go within. You are the one in control of your destiny. You are the one in control of your life. But first, you have to figure out who you are. And I'm not talking about the masks you wear. I'm not talking about who you believe yourself to be because of your job, your personality type, the traumas you've been through. Those are the things we use to define our identity if we don't understand who we really are. But to learn who we really are, that's a purely internal journey. Each of us has to go about finding our way on our own. There's no right way to do it, no wrong way to do it, just a bunch of tips and hints along the way from the veterans who've been there, from the ones who've fought through these wars already once in their life, some of us more times than we can count. That's why we share the knowledge we've gained in this, is because we know the road blindfolded. We know the pitfalls. And if we can shine our light to help other people to see those pitfalls in their own lives, it helps everybody to grow. Now, what are my plans with JDS Philosophy? This is where things get quite interesting for me because originally my plans for JDS Philosophy were exceedingly simple. I was just trying to get my own book published, which is out now in ebook format on Amazon, Kindle, and Kindle Unlimited. It's entitled, And They Shall Know You by the Trail: How the Paths We Take in Life Define How We Perceive Our Reality. This book takes a look at how each of us ourselves is specifically responsible for how we've gotten to this very moment in our lives. That wherever you sit today in your life is the result of the choices you've made in life thus far. And as such, you are 100% responsible and accountable for where you're at. And if it's not where you want to be, that's where the journey really starts to get fun. It's been said that if you want something you've never had before, you got to do things you've never done. And I realized that I was wanting things in my life that never had before, really. I'm trying so hard to obtain them. And the methods I've gone about to this point in my life have gotten me nowhere. But it taught me a lot. It taught me the things not to do as I'm going through this. As I've grown and as I've learned more about myself, as I've learned to love the man that I am and the man that I was and the man that I am becoming, I have also learned how to hold on to my peace. And I've also learned how to take control of the direction your life is headed. Only one person can do that. That is yourself. What you are witnessing with JDS Philosophy, with my book, with the upcoming podcast I'm working on, with the essays I've been posting, and with the mini video lectures that I started today. Where I'm going with all of that is actually even bigger than I imagined in the first place. Like I said, it was just intended to get my stuff off the ground. And I figured it would be a good way if I started my own little imprint to be able to have a point to promote from. It's so interesting to see. Yeah, that was a brilliant idea. But it gets so much bigger than that. And all I had to do is let it ride a bit. Because here's the thing. What I've realized in the mere weeks since publishing my book and starting this venture is that JDS Philosophy realistically is going to be a branch of something a lot bigger. Anybody who's known me for any length of time knows punk rock played a huge part of my life. My mom is probably rolling her eyes, or will when she sees this. I know she's not going to be able to join us tonight. But she hated that I was into punk rock, but it taught me many, many lessons. And it gave me a DIY work ethic where I don't roll over just because there isn't a way anymore. If there isn't a way, I find a way. I make a way. If I can't go over it and I can't go under it, then I guess I got to go through it. And I'll make it in the end. I know I will. But one of the coolest things I learned from punk rock with that DIY work ethic that everything is rooted around in that genre was what many of the artists started doing when the major labels either wouldn't take a look at them at all or wanted too much creative control over the art that the bands were creating. I didn't want to give up creative control over my art. And one of my biggest fears, and something I actually did not understand about where we were in today's world with publishing, actually, was that it's actually a lot easier than you'd think to get your stuff published. I was scared of the process. I was thinking I was going to have to shop my manuscript around to a bunch of publishing houses, that I was going to need to get an agent, that I'd be signing contracts that I personally was going to have to go through with a fine tooth comb, have an attorney help me with, because I wasn't about to sell my soul or lose creative control over my words. I wasn't going to lose the ability to say what I believe and feel needed said in my writing. And when my favorite punk rock bands ran into that problem, they started their own record labels. Epitaph Records, Kung Fu Records, Alternative Tentacles, Bat Records, all started by members of bands who wanted to have a format that they could present their music and yet keep creative control. And not only be able to present their music while keeping creative control, but also to present and make the music of their friends available and allow their friends to keep the creative control over the music. And that's actually what I see JDS philosophy eventually blooming into. And that JDS philosophy will actually ultimately end up being one of the branches under the greater umbrella of JDS Publishing. Things I've never done before. I just started my own independent publishing imprint that I'm working on figuring out how to open that up and market it to people who have similar ideas, similar thought processes, and have been working towards similar goals, such as publishing a book, where I can then assist them with the process and help them to actually understand how much easier this process has gotten over the years. Help coach them through it, allow them to have a stable imprint to back and release the books they're putting out under, and help my friends to grow their own lives. Now, I was really hoping to, at this point, have a few more people in my viewer count, but I've noticed they're really, and I don't know if it was my timing, but I don't really have any viewers down here today. So there aren't any questions. And while I was going to run this for a full hour, or for a full half hour, um, we're at about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping things up, as I really don't have any questions to answer from the audience. And so I would like to just kind of wrap things up with this. You're never too old to chase your goals. Tolkien was 45 years old when he started writing The Hobbit. Not when it was published, when he started the book. And he went on to write the Lord of the Rings saga. The man did incredible things and didn't even start until he was 45. I'm in my mid 40s myself. It's never too late to take control of the direction you're headed in your life, to answer the questions you've always had about who you really are, and to steer things the direction your life is intended to go, to become the person you were always meant to be. Keep driving forward, my friends. I would encourage each of you to take a moment in your day. Think about the things you're grateful for. Think about the goals you have. Be truly brave enough to suck at something new every day, because you never know what you're going to find you actually are really awesome at. Like I said in the beginning, if you would have asked me years ago if I would have thought this would be something I'd be doing, nope. But as I sit here today on camera, I gotta say, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to doing the podcast. I'm looking forward to doing more live events. Looking forward to posting more mini lecture videos, and encourage each and every one of you to hop over to my JDS Philosophy Facebook page. Follow if you're not following. Check out the things that I've got posted there. When you get the opportunity, jump over to my YouTube channel that I just set up. The link's on my Facebook. Subscribe and you'll get notified every time I post something new. But if you like the messages I'm sharing, go through, react to the posts, share them, comment, tell me what you like. Give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if anybody feels prompted or inspired to donate to help push JDS Philosophy forward, I'll have my Cash App, my PayPal, and my Venmo information in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shine on. And don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. Because what you believe you can or you can't do, you're already right. Love you all. Have a blessed night.